when your tiny home on wheels project has now officially cost more than a sizable down payment on an actual house. That's ridiculous.
What kind of dope are the people camping outside of those new single family homes in Ho'opili smoking? Actually. Because I know that you are not camping out for a single family home, 2 bedrooms, a little over 1,000 square feet, for $700,000 fucking dollars starting. You're just as high as those goddamn fucking prices, for real.
Let's talk about my $869,000 tiny home parked in my dad's driveway. Well, it actually cost me about $450,000, but over the course of the 30-year mortgage with 2024 interest rates, that's how much I'll actually pay in total to be a homeowner. Anyways, Happy New Year.
That is a porta potty. That is a bathroom. Well, how much you... Bro, no. It keeps getting worse. Watch this.
This tiny home in the California Bay Area, it's 384 square feet. They're asking $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. They had 8 offers. It went well over list price. That literally is $4,400 a foot. This piece of paper, $4,400 a foot. So I asked a lender friend, what would that payment be a month? And he said with a debt to income of 45%, with 20% down, you're looking roughly around $11,200 a month. I said, that is crazy. Here in Baldwin County, Alabama, the average price last month was $390,000. The average price per square foot here in Daphne, Alabama was $167 a foot. That payment, when I went to ask the lender earlier, he said that's about $2,300 a month payment. Guys, it's a crazy real estate market out in California. Comment below and let me know what's your craziest market price you've heard of.
Yeah, they dog on mine. This next guy, he's going to break it down step by step, little by little, on why tiny homes could be a terrible investment. Let's let them cook.
Here are 4 reasons why tiny homes are terrible investments. With housing costs at an all-time high and the Fed signaling rates will likely not be coming down anytime soon, many people have started looking at tiny homes as an option. But here's why that could be an unwise choice. Number 1, depreciation. While standard homes appreciate at 3 to 5% a year, you can expect a tiny home to depreciate similar to that of an RV. After just 3 years, expect to lose 30% of the original value, and after 10 years, you'll be down 62%. Number 2, expensive to build. A tiny home on average costs $300 to $400 per square foot to build, while a traditional home is closer to $150 to $200. You might say it's because you're cramming a lot into a small space, and I would argue back saying, do you want to live crammed? Number 3, utilities. Tiny homes are typically set up to operate off-grid, which can have many drawbacks. When compared to a traditional home, they are 1, unreliable, 2, more expensive, and 3, a hassle to set up. Emptying black and gray water tanks is always going to be gross. Number 4, zoning and legal issues. This is probably my biggest concern with tiny homes. It could be extremely difficult to find somewhere to place it. With most governments classifying them as RVs, zoning is going to be a real headache. I understand the advantages of a tiny home, but owning one could put you further away from owning a traditional home, which historically speaking is one of the best investments you can make. If you're looking for more down-to-earth real estate advice, follow me.
It says $265 for 400 to 600 square foot tiny homes is supposed to be affordable housing, according to Habitat for Humanity. Copyrighted music. She said, did you know that tiny homes often praise for the affordability and sustainability can sometimes end up costing more per square foot than traditional homes when factoring in land prices, utility hookups, and customization? Yes, we knew.
So I paid $135,000 for the home. I did build it, custom build it. So I added things like the dishwasher and I took some things out. So that will change your price, but I paid $135,000 and there are additional fees on top of that. For example, skirting costs $5,500 and the utilities and the setup of actually putting it here on the spot is $1,500. And they typically move it for free if it's within 100 miles. The lot rent here at Shady Creek is typically $950 a month, but they do have a concession for the first year that you move in, and so they take $100 off, so I pay $850 a month for rent. Water is included, and I am responsible for the electric bill. It is average about $50 a month. So I'm paying about $900 a month versus where I used to live. I rented a home and it was about $3,000 a month. On top of that, I had all the utilities. So it was about $250 extra. So I'm saving tons of money by living here. Plus I pay cash for my house. So I do not have a mortgage. The only thing that I have to pay for is my lot rent and my electric. I could definitely afford to buy a traditional home, that was not the issue at all. I just realized that life is not about stuff. It's not about what you have. What I wanted was living a stress-free life, spending more time with my family, and really being able to enjoy life, traveling more, working less, being less stressed, having less stuff. Living tiny has definitely caused my health to be better mentally and physically. It gives
Well, if you like it, I love it. 135, yeah, that can't get you. That's gonna get you a house, but you're gonna be in the hood. I mean, you're not gonna be somewhere good. I'm looking at it like you might as well go ahead and spend an extra, you know what I'm saying, 200, 300 more thousand if that's what you want. Like I said, don't downgrade and get the tiny home thinking you're gonna just cut some corners. Do it unless you want to be, I guess, free and be able to move around or whatever. But don't just be like, oh, it's cheaper, we're gonna just eat the bullet. You're gonna be sad that way. Okay, go on and spend that extra money, because you're gonna, after all them hookups, all them electricity, all that land, you gotta pay for the land too, unless you got somebody who got some land already. It's gonna add up, and it's gonna be about the cost of a real house. Look at this next clip, man. They talking about a story. They got something. Look at this.
The story goes from, how could it be a $329,000 house, to that's $329,000?
That's insane.
That's
are there
crazy.
Pictures? Are there more pictures, like inside and stuff? I want to see what they think.
I don't
is
think
there
so.
a basement that's even smaller?
Is there a basement? Oh yeah, there is.
A lot of pictures for a tiny ass house.
No, that's a scam. That was an ad.
Oh,
I almost clicked on it. I know. See, there it is again.
yeah, doing it again.
There's there might be a basement. Look at that.
Hey, you see, there's a whole back that we missed. It goes deep.
Look at how spacious that is. Yeah, it goes deep. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
No bedroom.
Ironically, that kitchen's bigger than my kitchen.
I know it exists, but I never heard the term no bedroom.
Zero bedroom. They have to say zero bedroom because you know what constitutes a bedroom?
Room for a bed?
Typically. But a closet. There's no closet.
Hi, so can someone explain to me why tiny homes are more expensive than single-wide trailers? I would really like to know. It makes no sense. Trailers literally have multiple bedrooms, more stuff included, while these tiny homes are literally one room, maybe two, entire room, 500 square foot. What? For clarification, I'm talking about the shed tiny homes, the ones that are supposed to be sheds, but with drywall and electric.
Tiny homes seem cheaper. That's what pulls people in. But the size isn't where the cost is. You still need land. You still need utilities. You still need permits. And none of those get cheaper just because the house does. That's what catches people off guard.
Tell them, tiny houses ain't cheap, man. You gotta spend that money. Tiny homes take big cash. Spend that cash. You want that house to last. Come on.
So today on Tiny Shed Sagas is clothes. All the sheetrock. That's ours too. That cart, that cart, that cart. This shit is expensive.
Let's talk about how much tiny houses actually cost. Tiny houses are probably less affordable than you think. The average cost of a newly built tiny house is around $60,000. If you're looking for a tiny house with all the amenities, it's going to cost even more.
60,000, see, and it's gonna be boring. I thought it was a game. This next lady, she gonna explain the dangers and why y'all need to educate all around, because you gonna end up spending more money all around in the first place. Y'all wanna spend more money? All right, let me show you why you don't. Let's see.
Not gonna lie, I'm a wee burnt out on educating the masses here. But let's go fix whatever this is and get into it. And we're back. I would like to start off with the fact that the whole tiny home trend is a little bit dangerous, because tiny homes are more mobile than mobile homes. And so your average person that probably doesn't even know how to drive with a trailer on the back of their truck thinks that they can just move their tiny home wherever they want to go. And I have seen that go very badly. Anyways, there's a stigma that anyone who lives in a mobile home is just trailer trash. But people who live in tiny homes are classy minimalists. And aside from Wall Street owning 1 in 7 homes, tiny homes definitely contribute to the rising housing costs. Tiny homes can go for anywhere between $30,000 and $150,000, sometimes more. I got my mobile home for around $20,000 after all the taxes and fees and everything. And that, in today's market, is actually a great deal. Currently, the average price of a mobile home is $88,000. And if you're getting into new manufactured homes, that can go up to $135,000. This is what my home looked like before I did all the work I did to it. This was my living room, the kitchen, yada yada. Without factoring in anything that I've put into the home, this is what my home is currently estimated at. Again, I bought it for $20,000. So with all the renovations that I did, that $76,000 is actually probably a bit accurate. So why is living in a tiny home aesthetic, but living in a mobile home is not? Because that shit's not cheap anymore. 10 years ago, I could buy a whole 2-bedroom house for that upper number, the $116,000. And now a 2-bedroom house in my area goes for at least $325,000. All tiny homes are doing is pushing the lower and lower middle class people out of home ownership, putting a little bow on it and calling it minimalism, while calling anyone who lives in a trailer, which is bigger and has more storage, trash. Also, real quick, it's crazy to me that they, put all this money into building a tiny home and then think that it's worth that much. Because tiny homes, manufactured homes, everything like that, they're sold more like cars. So as soon as you are done with them, they are not worth as much as you put into them.
When I get a quote for a new tiny home and it's $100K for a 400 square foot shell. Yeah, chief, if you gonna spend all that money, you might as well go on and live in a regular house. Go on spend the extra money. Unless you just want to live in a tiny home, and if that's the life you want to go for, ain't nobody gonna be mad at you. Do your thing. We gonna support you. And if we didn't, you shouldn't listen to what we say anyway. Don't listen to what people say. We shouldn't have no control in your life. People who try to tell you what to do, don't listen to them. Okay, you're gonna be depressed that way. Now we have another clip where he's basically saying what we've been saying this whole video. You might as well get you a regular house than a tiny home. It's not going to be worth it in the money aspect. Like I just said, unless you really want to go down that life and that's a life you want to live, don't do it. He's feeding his cows and he's going to feed you all this information. So let's get right into it, man. Let's see it.
So out choring today, me and the girls have some questions we thought of. There was recently a show, it was like Tiny House Hunters or something like that. Well, in that show, they've got the people and they have a budget and what they're looking for type deal. So naturally, I'm like, oh, I'm going to check it out. I might get some ideas for around here, And these people, they had the good intentions of, we'd like to spend less money. We don't need as much. We'll downsize. And it'll just be a more fruitful, a better, more efficient way of living, right? They're talking about what their budget is. And, these people got $300,000-$400,000 budget. That's a very healthy budget for tiny living. But then they end up, they're going over budget. They're spending $300,000-$400,000 on a tiny house, on like a 1/4 acre of land, like nothing even with it. And that just kind of leaves me with some questions. So I don't have, the most beautiful place. But what I do have, I appreciate, and I've built everything here for, I'd say under $100,000, and that includes the price of the land. Now, mind you, I don't have a ton of property. I've got 14 acres, but that's enough for, my small little operation, the needs of my family. And mind you, not everything's done yet because it, is me doing all the labor. But still, I guess I just don't really see the logic in spending $300,000-$400,000 on a tiny house when you can spend that much money on a full-size house or a pretty good chunk of land and build your own tiny house. I don't know, just something Rosie and Squirt and the girls and I were talking about during morning choring. And maybe the girls and I just don't get it. Well, if you guys got any thoughts on the matter, let me know in the comments below. But, alright, till next time, take it easy.
I really do not care for tiny home communities, and here's why. Tiny homes are really expensive to manufacture. I can get a nice new mobile home for almost half the price of a tiny home. A lot of them are custom built. If you think about it, mobile homes are mass produced and therefore materials are cheaper. Tiny homes are just really expensive. Tiny home communities are also more difficult to finance. Banks don't really know what to do with them. They're not zoned for manufactured homes, they're not RV parks, they're kind of like this really niche product. Mobile home parks have decades of performance. Most banks are very familiar with them. Easier to get financing and better rates. And lastly, tiny home communities have just more of a difficult exit strategy. Mobile home parks just already have a pool of buyers. Tiny homes has a smaller buyer pool if you want to exit. Tiny homes are kind of like experimental, they're cute, they're fun, but I will stick with boring mobile home parks all day long.
Comments. Time to read the comments. Read the comments. Read comments. I like to read. Welcome to the comment section. This is basically the lady saying that tiny homes are more expensive. You know what I'm saying? Why is it costing more to get a tiny home than an actual home? Let's look at those comments. They put, it's because they are bougie. He meant to put bougie. You see my kids in the back. They gonna cook some biscuits. Nah, we eating real food. Okay, capitalism. No clue either. Yeah. Brand equity. It's priced purposely higher because fabricators believe that this is the price people are willing to pay. And they will. And like I say, I've been saying in the video, if that's the life you want and you have the benefit of being free and that's what you want to do, cool. But don't spend that money thinking that you are going to, I'm just going to take the hit. No, just go ahead and spend the extra money and get what you really want. Look, desperation. Thumbs up. Trailers are treated as vehicles that depreciate. I'm talking about tiny homes, not trailers, but yes. Tiny homes are cute little self-imposed problems that only spoiled rich kids partake in. What? I don't know where he's going with that. Punish Squeezy. He got 0 likes on that one. Let me scoot this over so y'all can see the likes. He got 0 likes on that one. I don't know where he was going with that one. In all honesty, there is an effect of scale here. Trailers are built at a high volume somewhere very far away and they just get hauled on location. A tiny home is usually a small builder doing custom designs, figuring out everything as they go. So basically they freestyling. They get in your house and they freestyling with it and they like, throw that over there. I guess, throw this right. I guess it look good. If that's the case, you need to find somebody who's not going to freestyle on your house. Find a real builder. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. Tiny homes are often built with non-toxic materials. Mobile homes, aka single and double wides, are built with flame retardant. Hey man. And also all sorts of toxic materials. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Here go another one, capitalism. Where I'm at, they're still cheaper than a trailer and easier to qualify for. Okay, that's good. See, if you can qualify for it and get up in there, that's a reason to do it. No idea. I live in a country where some apartments are more expensive than our normal houses. Oh yeah. You gotta look at apartments. They don't. But the benefit about apartments, the maintenance, all that's taken care of. You don't have to cut no grass. That's a little small one. That's a me thing. I'm like cutting grass. You ain't gotta cut no grass. You got maintenance. Something break. You know what I'm saying? You got all these amenities. If your apartment's worth a damn, you got some amenities. Yeah, that's where apartments come from. That's why they're a little higher. Not saying I agree with it, but that's why. They said 3D printing houses cost $10K to produce. They are basically illegal in the US. They're illegal in the US for real? I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were illegal in the US. Look, because they're trendy trailers and they're part of poor. Hey man. It seems like the comments are in an uproar about whether you should get a real house or a tiny house. What do you think, baby? You think you should get a tiny house or if a tiny house is going to cost the exact amount of a real house? Why? Yeah. And why do you say that?
Like if this materials are stable, most likely bigger.
Yeah. Well, too bad because we're gonna get a tiny house. I already closed on it. She doesn't know this. This is a Talk to Him Boy exclusive. We'll be moving to a tiny home next month. No, but no, she said I wouldn't want it either. It doesn't fit my lifestyle. Honestly, for those who fits the lifestyle, I salute you. I like to be still. Okay, I don't like all that moving. Okay, I like to be still, but I salute the people who do that. You know what I'm saying? And then we got our kids, man. They even in this apartment, they be running all around. They be wanting some more space. So yeah, tiny home just not gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna cut it, unfortunately. But hey man, it's been Josh from Talk to Him Boy. I just talked to you, boy. And hey, If y'all think tiny homes is bad, man, if y'all think this is expensive, think about off the grid. Off the grid is even worse, bro. You doing all the work, all the labor, if y'all want to see how it can be worse than all the stuff that I just was talking about, click this video right here, man. I promise you won't regret it. You won't. Click it. It's juicy. Again, it's been Josh from Talk to Him, boy. And I just talk to you, boy. Until next time, I'm out.